My name is Rachel Walker, and I'm originally from Chicago, or the Chicago suburbs, and I came to San Francisco about 3 years ago. So I got a job at a company, and they were a software development company, and they were expanding their office in the Bay Area, and they were like, hey, do you want to move to San Francisco? And I was like, sure, that sounds great. And to be honest, I didn't even know where San Francisco was on a map at the time. I actually credit most of my programming knowledge to AOL Instant Messenger and MySpace. Those were the two things that I think these generations are really missing out on is like when I had an AOL Instant Messenger, I would like find random people and then I would look at their buddy profiles and you could put some HTML in there. So people had super cool like scrolling marquees, like colorful everything, different fonts, and I was like, how do you do that? And I found out you could just kind of like highlight the code and like copy and paste it, and then you would get HTML. So that was like kind of the first time I started programming, was just modifying HTML and CSS tags and then a little bit of JavaScript to make my MySpace and my AOL profile like the best of like all my friends on my buddy list. I'm currently kind of doing double duty. I work part-time teaching programming to women at Hackbright Academy, which is a programming school to get women to be software engineers. And so I do that part-time. But my full-time job is working on my startup that I just started a couple months ago. It's called Filter, and it's an anonymous employee review site. And we're kind of in a pivot moment right now. We're kind of turning it towards an employee engagement survey that's internal to companies and kind of exposing the aggregate data to the people. The studies have shown when you have more diversity, then you have way better products, right? Because if you're targeting a market that you don't even understand because you don't live that experience, how good of a product can you actually make? And furthermore, when you're solving big issues that have never been solved before, like the Valley is making awesome stuff, but think about how much better it could be if you put different minds together to knock on the issue from different perspectives and from different lived experiences. Like you just get like so much more innovation. And so that's really ultimately on the bottom line, dollars and cents, that's why people should care. But in terms of not money, people should just care because it's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? Like this is a society, we all need each other. And so we shouldn't be like climbing over each other, even within different minority groups. We shouldn't be climbing over each other to get to the top. We should all work together and just like be amazing. I basically just decided one day, I was like, I'm gonna do it. Like it's terrifying actually. And you know, all the time I look at my bank account and I'm like, how long can I survive? So that's real life. Right? But at the end of the day, I'm doing something that is super important. So I think that kind of drives me to take the risk, because ultimately it's going to help more people than me kind of like complaining. Like I'm young, right? If I like burn through all my money and even go in debt a bit, like it's not going to be a big deal. I can recover. I don't have kids or anything like that. So I feel like I have to do it. And so I'm doing it right now. I probably worry a lot about actually making a product that's good, that people will want and use. That's not a very easy thing to do. You think, you know, when I pitch Filter, people are like, oh, I get it, this is amazing. But that's like, a pitch is broad, right? Like you get like 20 seconds to talk about something. So the implementation of that, like what the questions actually are, like what demographic groups to filter the things by, like what to even call those demographic groups, right? Like there are just like so many little things that you don't realize until you start working on something that's like, especially a targeted diversity application, because there are even experiences I don't understand because I haven't lived them. So I'm basically up at night a lot trying to, you know, find people, talk to different people, figure out what their stories are and figure out how to incorporate them and, you know, find patterns and similarities in everybody's experience, etc. So that's, making a product people want is really hard. I feel like there's this like real, you know, desire for getting the best and the brightest people, right? Especially in the Silicon Valley, especially in the technology industry, right? But I just want to tell you that you don't have to be like a Harvard or MIT grad to like actually get somewhere, right? Like I went to like an average college, right? That most people don't even recognize the name of. but I still make it. And it's really hard because there's not a lot of visibility from people who are just quote unquote normal. You know, it's always showcasing, you know, the people of color especially, and the women who are exceptional, right? Who like graduated from Harvard Business School, or, you know, went to Waterloo or MIT or Stanford, and that's not the case. There are women out there who are super successful in the tech industry who just were normal, right? So you don't have to be exceptional, don't worry about it, you'll be fine.